You just hear a lot of times about contractors being shady characters. So, operating from a draw schedule is one of the ways to protect yourself as an investor and keep the contractor incentivized. Welcome to another installment of This Week in Real Estate, where I recap my week as a fix and flip investor and a self-managing landlord of over 20 plus units. Let's hop into this week. So this week we had like a flurry of showings, showing requests for one of the vacant units that we have. And it's on the Showmojo system, so allows people to kind of just sign up and go show the property, go see the property when they want, and like just putting in a code and accessing the key. And I found that there was an issue with like showing time. So I live in Pacific time zone, the property is in Eastern time zone. And what I found was I was thinking the showing was, let's say, at 4:30 when it would really be 1:30. So people were having issues where they would go, but the code wouldn't work because it thought, the system thought that they were there too early. And I figured this out by just making contact with them and like providing myself as a resource. So I was thinking through just like the whole process from a prospective tenant's point of view, and they kind of send a request online, they're sent a link, they sign up, they go do it all by themselves. It's very impersonal. I don't know if impersonal is the right term, but it lacks a personal touch. So I thought this week that I would call them before their tours so they have a point of contact. There is some personal element to it and they're not just dealing with like a computer. And that's how I was able to find out that there was a wonky issue with the time zones. I think I have it figured out, so next week our showings should be better. But from this week, we have one person that is moving forward with an application, one lady that says she's waiting for her husband, he's on deployment, so it's tricky getting time to actually talk to him. So we'll see if they move forward, but moving forward with that. What else? Had a conversation with the lady that had the really dirty unit. So sent her a 2130 notice, basically a notice that says you have 21 days to comply with this section of your lease, which was the cleanliness section, or you will be evicted in 30 days, or the eviction process will start in 30 days. So I sent her that notice, and then I followed it up with a phone call, and she was very receptive to the conversation. She chalked it up just to dirty laundry, which I think it's more than that, but so we'll see what the unit looks like in a couple weeks when we go inspect. And I made a video about this earlier, and someone commented like, do you think you guys have the same standards for cleanliness? And no, I don't think we do, but my big thing is just improvement, right? If it's a little tidy in there, it looks better, then I will be okay. We also got the first draw on one of the flips that we're working on. So like you just hear a lot of times about contractors being shady characters. So operating from a draw schedule is one of the ways to protect yourself as an investor and keep the contractor incentivized. So a draw schedule is pretty much saying, hey, we're gonna do this item, and this item, and once these items are complete, we're gonna release this much money, or I'm gonna pay you this much money. So I think every job should have a draw schedule, and mine do, because I think that. And so we hit our first milestone for our first draw on our flip there, and we are in the home stretch of things. So it's really funny. It's hard to do a draw schedule all the time perfectly, but we hit our first milestone. We're well on our way to hit like the next couple, and we plan on being done this week. So we'll probably finish out the project this week and pay out the rest of the draws by the end of this week. And just a note, so I say contractors have a reputation for being like shady characters. My contractor, love him. I think I pay a little bit more for him, but he communicates great and is like a true partner in my business. So my contractor, love him, not a shady character. I work with him for like years now, and I'm willing to pay a little bit more to work with him because he's that good, in my opinion. What else? So I think I've talked about this like property that I was trying to like steal. And I say steal just because I was able to get the numbers to work so it could be a perfect bird deal. We had the appraisal for that one this week. It's a financing appraisal, so just to make sure that the lender will have the right LTV and have some leverage, or not be over leveraged in lending to me. So we should be getting that back this week and then moving forward with financing that deal. I am looking to work with private investors. So if you're looking for like a passive investment where you kind of put some money in, it goes to work and you get a return, reach out to me. I love working with private investors, and I'm looking to work with a private investor on this deal. What else? So, we have a tenant that's breaking his lease. So he signed his lease, I want to say in like November or December of last year. And he wanted to sign an 18-month lease, which is unusual, but I was like, you want to stay longer? That's cool with me. But now he wants to break his lease. So what we worked out, and these are the terms that he proposed, which sounded good to me. We worked out where I'll let him move out, break his lease, he'll forfeit his deposit, he will pay 2 months rent up front, and then he'll be able to just go about his way. I agree to that because of a couple of things, right? Forfeiting the deposit, cool. And then the time that it will take me to replace him as a tenant, let's say 2 months, he's paid for. So happy to let him go. I don't want anyone in my property that doesn't want to be there. So it'll work out fine. That unit is in a pretty good location, so I don't think I'll have a problem with anyone moving in. So that'll work out. Other tenant news, so the Section 8 unit that we've been going round and around getting it inspected and passing that inspection, that lady moved in this week, so very, very happy about that. And not just because I have someone in a unit now, but because she no longer has to live in a hotel. So she moved out of her last place because they were selling, and then she found my place, but it had to go through that crazy inspection process. So in between the units, she was living in a hotel and she has a kid. So now they're able to kind of get comfortable in my unit, which is good for me and good for them. So very happy about that. And then one thing that I've done with Section 8 tenants to kind of alleviate the burden on them while they're waiting for the unit to pass inspection is once I accept them, I do not take their full deposit. I break up their deposit into 2 pieces, and I've done this for 2 reasons. Well, 1 reason really. It's because when I accept a Section 8 tenant, I know that this inspection process is a pain in the neck, and I don't want them to pay all this money, 1 month's rent, and then be waiting and waiting and waiting for a unit to pass inspection. So what I started doing is just taking half of their deposit when I accept them, and then get the other half before they move in. So she paid her other half this week and was able to move in. It was after the 15th of the month, so the housing authority won't pay anything until the 1st for the half of the month that she lives in the unit, or the couple days she moved in this week. So it's close to half the month that she's been in the unit. They won't pay that until next month. So next month they'll pay September rent and portion of August. So got her in there though. Happy about that. We can focus on these other units that we need to have filled. So that was my week. And then something that I heard, it wasn't necessarily in the news, but it was just a story through some friends, personal friends. And it was around someone living in a unit, living in a property, and them having a fire in their unit, and that fire spreading to other units. So what it reminded me of is the importance of having renter's insurance, because the property owner, me as a landlord, the building is covered through my insurance. But all the belongings of the person that lives in the property is not covered by my insurance. That needs to be covered by their own insurance, which is renter's insurance. So I'm gonna send a note to all of my tenants this week, just like, hey, make sure you have renter's insurance. It is a requirement that I have for them, but one that I kind of loosely check up on. And again, I'm gonna reiterate that it's for their benefit, and it's about $7 a month. So if you have units, or you're renting yourself and you don't have renter's insurance, or your tenants don't have renter's insurance, encourage them to do that, because if anything happens, then they are covered. So renter's insurance, very important, not too expensive. But that was This Week in Real Estate. As always, if you have any comments, questions, feel free to shoot me a DM or drop a comment. And if you like this series, share it with someone, share the series, share this episode, and give me a follow.